All right, so I am so glad to partner with the Builders Academy. Today we're going to do math in the kitchen. I'm really excited. Once again, my name is Victoria, and I'm from Victoria's Kitchen, a local kids cooking school here in Richmond, Virginia. And I'm going to show you all some easy, quick, healthy, and delicious snacks that you can use with your kids of all ages and incorporate some math and reading, different skills into it, okay? So I also want to let you know that I'm a mom of 3 elementary kids as well. So these recipes are tried and true because we all know that the kids will let you know if they don't work, okay? All right, so today we're going to be doing math in the kitchen, and we're going to do 2 quick, healthy snacks. One I like to call the Hungry Caterpillar, okay? So that's for a lot of our younger kids. And then after we do the Hungry Caterpillar recipe, we'll do the Fall Apple Nachos recipe. All right, let's get started. All right, so there are just a few ingredients and supplies you will need to make your Hungry Caterpillars. You're gonna need some pretzel sticks. Most of us, have pretzels. You have pretzel sticks. And I like to use kebab sticks, but I actually use coffee stirrers because you'll notice the wooden coffee stirrers do not have any pointy edges, so I like to use wooden coffee stirrers. I have some of my favorite grapes. I have some nice big green grapes. You can use any color grapes you want. And some wonderful strawberries. I have some little candy eyeballs. And if you don't have these candy eyeballs, you can also use chocolate chips, okay? It's just something that makes it look even funner. And then I have a little bit of writing gel, the baking and cake aisle, some writing gel. And of course, I have a safety knife. And we're gonna get started. So the first things first is, when you're working in the kitchen with your kids, you wanna incorporate some learning skills, right? Some math. So what I like to do is basically have the kids count anything and everything, okay? So with our younger kids, we're going to talk to them about how we're going to make this recipe. So we want all of our younger kids to make sure that they both have 2 wooden skewers or popsicle sticks, okay? So you lay them out in front of you and you say, sweetie, could you please grab 2 popsicle sticks? 1, 2. That's the first step. Get them to count their supplies, okay? 2. So each child will have 2 wooden skewers, okay? Next step, we're gonna pull out those ingredients we just talked about, okay? So we're gonna pull out our grapes, our strawberries, and our pretzel sticks, okay? So we'll lay these out in front of the students and they'll get a look at them. If they ask to taste one, just let them taste it because it's fruits and it's good for them. So I'm gonna say to each child, okay, you know what? I would like for each student to grab 4 grapes, 4 grapes. And then you just get them to pull out 4 grapes out of the bowl. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, I also like to incorporate as many different languages that you can incorporate while you're doing this. And of course, the next language that we usually try to incorporate is Spanish. So you would also get them to count it out in Spanish. And this is what we do a lot of times in our pre-K and preschool, toddler, and elementary classes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we count in at least 2 or 3 different languages, okay? That gives them a really good head start. And so then we say, sweetie, how many grapes did you count? And they'll say 4 or 4. As simple as that. It's as simple as that. All right, so then we'll say, please grab 1 popsicle stick. 1 popsicle stick. So then pick up 1 popsicle stick because remember, at the beginning of the class, they chose how many? 2. So then we're going to tell them, take 1 away and pick up 1. So that's 1 popsicle stick. So then we tell them and we show them how we're going to take each of our grapes, our 4 grapes, and we have the little holes at the bottom of our grapes. And we're just going to slide them onto our popsicle sticks, okay? And this also helps, guys, this is awesome. This helps with fine motor skills and sensory skills, okay? Because they're learning how things feel, right? And they're learning how to do eye-hand coordination. Because we're pointing out the little holes, you know the little holes at the bottom of the grapes? We're pointing out how we want them to take the little holes in the popsicle stick and push the popsicle stick through the little hole. That is awesome for hand-eye coordination, which we know preschool, toddler, and elementary kids need to work on, okay? So we're gonna help them put the 4 grapes on each popsicle stick. Something as easy and simple as that. And you wanna make sure that you stay interested in it. You keep a beautiful, lively voice to make sure you're positive, because the way that you're showing it to them is how they're gonna feel about it, okay? So we have, once again, boys and girls, we'll count and we'll count again. You wanna drive it in, drive it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have 4 grapes, okay? We'll drive it in the numbers again, okay? So we have 4 grapes on our sticks, okay? So next thing, we want to grab the other popsicle stick, boys and girls. And then we want to ask them to count out 4 more grapes. 1, 2, 3, 4. You may think that you're saying it too much and you're repeating it too much, but you're not, because we know that being repetitive is drilling it in and it's helping them to remember, okay? So have faith and have confidence. You're not getting on their nerves, you're drilling it in, you're being repetitive, because that's a safe way to help them remember. So then you're gonna do the same steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And don't worry if it doesn't slide on perfect, okay? They're learning. That's all you wanna worry about, they're learning. All right, so we have our 2 popsicle sticks that the kids picked out with 4 grapes on it, on each one of them. And we're gonna set that to the side. Now, we want each child to make sure that they have a strawberry for each popsicle stick. So each child has 2 popsicle sticks. So each child needs 2 strawberries. So what you would say is, sweetie, would you go get 2 strawberries? Let's count out 1, 2, 2 strawberries. The child goes to the bowl, counts 1, and then counts 2. Now, if you notice, I like to make sure that they put it in front, because sometimes you want to do like a touching counting. A lot of times you want to be able to touch what you're counting to make sure that the kids aren't over counting, okay? So you have 2 sticks with grapes on them. So I want them to put a strawberry in front of each stick. 1 strawberry, 2 strawberry. So we have 2 strawberries. Awesome. All right, now, depending on how old your child is, you want to make sure they have a safety knife, you know, little kid knives, or a butter knife, no sharp knives, okay? And you can help them with this. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut a piece of the strawberry off on each strawberry, okay? And this is, again, it's good for fine motor skills and sensory skills. Sensory skills because you can talk about touching and feeling the strawberry. Hey, what does the strawberry feel like to you? What does the strawberry smell like to you, okay? Does it have different textures at the top? Is it different at the bottom? You want to incorporate those different things, okay? So this is how you want to cut your strawberry when you're making the hungry caterpillars with your students and kids, okay? So you see this top part where the greens are? I just like to get them to pinch that off. And what we're going to do is we are going to get a close-up. You guys are going to come closer. And I'm going to show you what part of the strawberry you want to chop off. We just want to chop the top off. You see right here where the stem was? You want to chop it off and set it up just like that. So it's kind of going to look like a Santa Claus hat the way you're going to chop it, okay? We're going to make sure that pointy top stands up. And we're going to do it again. It's always fun to have the kids pull off the little green leaves at the top. And then you go back to that top part that you pulled the green leaves off of. You see that? See how I'm cutting that top little part off right there. Okay? Awesome. All right, so that's how you're going to chop off the strawberry, okay? The top part. Now, gonna do is we have these 2 strawberry tops. What are we gonna do with these? Well, we're gonna make these the heads of our hungry little caterpillars, okay? And I also found it very interesting, and we'll talk about that after we finish making the hungry caterpillars, is that you have a hungry caterpillar story time to connect this with the Hungry Caterpillar book. That book has been, oh my gosh, I can't even think of how many kids have read the Hungry Caterpillar book, okay? So we have our 2 little strawberry heads. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up one of our grape, here, little grape popsicle sticks with grapes on them. We're gonna pick one up. And at the very bottom top part, there's a piece that sticks out. And I'm gonna get a little closer. We're going to take this part. This is the front part. You see that extra room you have right there in the front? The back of this strawberry right here, you see like right here in the center, you want to put the stick through there, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to shove that on just like that. You guys see that? Just like that. All right, we're going to do that to the next end. You want to make sure that you have some space left up here. That's why we push the grapes down. And you see that little middle piece? That's where we're going to stick the front part of the stick at. See that? We're going to stick it in there just like that. And there we go. So this is your caterpillar, okay? Now, what we're going to do is, it gets a little sticky and a little wet, so you're going to dry your hands. Now, what I like to do is, I have those little candy eyes. Let me get you guys to come closer so you can really see them. Now, these are on the baking owl, okay? These are little eyes. Can you guys see those? Give me a thumbs up if you can see them. Awesome. So these are right there with the sprinkles on the baking owl. And if you don't have those candy eyes, guess what? You can use a chocolate chips. You can use 2 chocolate chips, okay? So whichever you have. Now, to make these stick, you can use a variety of different things. The easiest thing to do is, since you're right there on that baking owl, just to get some writing gel. That's going to act like our glue, okay? So the writing gel is going to act like our glue. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the gel, and I am going to just put a little dot where I want each eyeball to be at. You don't need too much. You see that right there? A little dot, 2 dots. I'm going to take the little eyes, and don't worry, it is, you know, the kids may get a little bit on their hands, but that's all right. They're learning. So we'll count 2 eyeballs. 1, 2. And then you'll get them to glue on with the writing gel, their little eyes. 1 dot, 2 dot. And then I'll say, sweetie, please get 2 candy eyes. And you'll put 1, 2, just like that, okay? And then what we're gonna do is, you're also going to get your pretzel sticks. Now this is optional. The pretzel sticks are optional. So what I'll say is, sweetie, can you please count 1, 2 pretzel sticks? And they'll go to the little pretzel bowl and they'll pull out 1, 2 pretzel sticks, okay? So then what we'll do with the pretzel sticks is, we'll take the pretzel sticks and we'll go to the side of the strawberry. And look, we'll just stick them on the side of the strawberry. Now, depending on how good the child's fine motor skills are, you'll add the pretzel sticks. If they look like they need a little more help, you'll help them. If you know that the child may need a little more time, you can leave the pretzel sticks out, okay? All right, so we're gonna do one with or without pretzel sticks. And then guess what? We are all done for Hungry Caterpillars, okay? That's it. We incorporated math. We counted from 1 to 4. We worked on sensory skills and fine motor skills. And then if you have a story time and read the Hungry Caterpillar book, you can incorporate the reading part into the snack time that you just did. And the also other fun fact about making these is that you can actually put these in the freezer and they turn into popsicles. So you'll actually have some that you can eat right away, and then some you can freeze in the freezer, and these be healthy popsicles with no added sugars or any crazy things like that. And you just take them out the freezer and the kids will enjoy them, because frozen fruits and frozen strawberries, it tastes just like candy. All right, so did anybody have any questions? Let me get some close-ups again on how you can incorporate math with some of the preschool, toddlers, and younger elementary school kids by making hungry caterpillars. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. Would this be easy for you to incorporate at home with your students or in your classrooms? Hungry caterpillars. Awesome. All right, so let's get one more close-up look at those hungry caterpillars, and then we'll start on our apple nachos. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna take these little fellas and move them back here. All right, who in here likes nachos? Can I get a raised hand if you like nachos? I like them too. Had to find a healthier, better way to make them though, because you know all the stuff we like to put on them. So I'm going to show you all my easy way of making some apple fall nachos. So who in here also likes caramel apples? You know, in the fall time, you have the caramel apples, yes, and they're dipped in caramel with some chocolate. Well, I'm going to show you a smaller portion, tastier version mixed in with nachos, okay? All right, so what you're going to need is, you're going to need a cutting board. And I love these little things. These are apple slicers and apple cores. You guys seen these before. They're everywhere, right? Let me tell you, Dollar Tree, most of all the Dollar Trees have these right now. This is the season to go and get them. And when you have the kids in the kitchen and you're worried about them, you know, maybe breaking some tools and appliances and equipment you have in the kitchen, start them off getting things from the Dollar Tree, okay? You wouldn't have to worry about spending too much and you can just let them be free to learn, okay? All right, you're gonna need 2 apples. I have 2 of my favorite apples, a green Granny Smith apple, which is very sweet and tart. And then I like Pink Lady Crisp apples, but you can use a Fuji apple. You can use any type of apple you like. I have some ground cinnamon because it's fall time. Once again, we got some pretzel sticks. I have some chocolate chips. Now, you can use dark chocolate chips or you can use milk chocolate chips, whatever works for your family, okay? Whichever ones you like. I'm using dairy-free chocolate chips because one of my kids has food allergies, so we keep a lot of these dairy-free chocolate chips around, and they taste pretty good. You can't tell the difference. A little bit of caramel, which is gonna help give us that fall effect of the caramel apples with the chocolate. And a little bit of organic local raw honey, which is really good for fall allergies as well. So local raw honey is really good for your fall allergies, and it gives it a sweet little kick and a little taste, okay? All right, so when we are talking about math in the kitchen and making fall apple nachos, we want to get the kids counting again, right? So each child, once again, what you want to do is, let's count how many apples we're going to use today in class. How many apples, students? 1, 2, uno, dos. Whichever languages that you want to incorporate in the class. 1, 2, okay? Because math is universal. So 1, 2, food is universal. We have 2 apples. All right, so then we want to get each apple. How many apple slicers do we have? 1. Get them to count the apple slicer. They're going to take the apple and the stem, and they're going to line it up on top. And we're going to be careful, and we're going to count to 3 so we can push it down. On 3, we're going to push. 1, 2, 3, push. There you go. So there is our first set of apples that we have sliced up right here. And once you slice the apples, who can take a guess at what we're going to ask the students to do after we slice them? We're going to ask them to count the apple slices, right? All right, so we sliced the first apple. Students, please count how many apple slices. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many slices did we get from the first apple? 8 slices. They're counting 8 slices, okay? That's from the first apple. Students, please grab your second apple. And let's get that sliced up. Here we go. We're going to press down on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. There we go. And once again, we're going to ask them to count how many apple slices they have. All right, students, how many apple slices do we have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many red apple slices do we have, students? 8. How many green apple slices do we have, students? 8. Okay, so we have 8 green apples and we have 8 red apple slices. How many apple slices do we have together? Let's add. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 apple slices. Do things like that. It's simple and easy as that. You may think that's too simple and too easy, but it's not. It's really good for them, okay? So we're going to take our 16 apple slices and we're going to make some apple nachos. So we just have a regular plate. And what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate shapes now. We kind of want to make these go around in a circular manner, okay? So we're going to come up here and we're just going to line these up in a circle, and we're going to make patterns, okay? So patterns. We're going to do a pattern. Red, green, red. Again, red, green, red. Students, what's our pattern? Red, green, red. Okay? Red, green, red. Red, green, and a red. Got that? Red, green, and then a red, and then a 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 green. Just like that. It may get a little bunched up, but you're fine. You're trying to incorporate math and patterns, okay? There we go. All right, so now we have our pattern. So we counted how many apples we had, how many apple slices we had, which were 8 green and 8 red. We talked about going in a circular manner, which is about shapes. And then we focus in on patterns. Red, green, red. Red, green, red. Okay, so that's our pattern. All right, so next what we want to do is we want to work on some sensory skills as well and fine motor skills, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our caramel. And this is for those who love those caramel apples that are usually at the fairs this time of the year. And we're just going to give it a good stir. This is any caramel. You can make your own, which of course I want you guys to make your own caramel, right? But if you don't have time for that, you can just go in the store, in the baking aisle where the ice cream products are, and get some caramel in a can or a jar. And we're just going to drizzle the caramel around, okay? Now, this may look like nothing to you, but for kids, this is awesome for the fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, okay? Because they have to learn how to do things with their hand and eye coordination, right? So you're just going to get them to drizzle. Don't worry about it. They make a little mess. They're just drizzling. Drizzling. We're going to close up here so you guys can see what we're doing. So they're just drizzling it on, okay? We're doing this, so they're drizzling it on. And we get a nice close-up. So you just drizzle that on just like that, okay? And we're going to drizzle some more as well. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get them to count out some pretzels, okay? So for this, I like for them to count out just about 10 pretzels, okay? So you say, let's count out our 10 pretzels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we counted out our 10 pretzels. And now the fun part with sensory skills. Now you're going to get them to take their 10 pretzels and they're just going to crush them up, okay? So you just want them to crush it up. And you just want them to sprinkle it all on top of your apples. Crush it up and sprinkle it on top of your apples. All right. And then they're going to grab some of their chocolate chips and just drizzle it around. So if anybody likes pretzels and chocolate and caramel, I'm telling you, this tastes delicious. You may be like, well, Miss Victoria, you put a lot up there. I'm telling you, it's really good. It's a healthy alternative to it. And then you can say, I want you to get 1 pinch of cinnamon and sprinkle it around. 1 pinch of cinnamon and just sprinkle that around. And then I want them to do 1 more drizzle of the caramel. 1 more fresh drizzle of caramel before you do 1 drizzle of honey. So we have incorporated math in the kitchen while making some yummy, healthy snacks, our hungry caterpillars, and our fall apple nachos. Let me get you guys to get a closer look at what we have created today. I hope that it has encouraged you all. I'm going to eat some of it so you guys can see because it tastes really delicious. I love the pretzels with the chocolate and the caramel on the green apples especially. It really does. It tastes just like those caramel and chocolate apples with the freshness of the apple you just cut and the saltiness of the pretzels. It tastes delicious. I hope you all enjoyed this session of Math in the Kitchen with Victoria's Kitchen and Kids Cooking School in Richmond, Virginia. I hope that you try these recipes at home. The kids will enjoy them, and so will you. I'm going to turn it over to Alexis if you guys have any questions or any further things that you want to ask.
Yes, thank you so much. So I'm definitely looking forward to making some of those with my little one because they look amazing.